It is May 12th. It is day 113 of the Trump presidency, and let's talk about the headlines today. I'm sure you've already heard, but there was a 90-day pause put in place on the tariffs between Trump and China. There's still some tariffs in effect. So there's a 30% tariff on China and a 10% tariff back on the United States. And they're supposed to be using this period of time to negotiate something that's going to work for both countries long term. Obviously, MAGA has all sorts of ideas about how brilliant this is. And the rest of us kind of see that this is just Trump not being able to pull it off, honestly. Because I think at the end of the day, what he realized is the shelves are about to be empty. All the CEOs are probably they called him before, freaking out. And then the ships really stopped coming in. And I think, a lot of people are probably screaming at him about the optics of what's about to happen, right? It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. What I keep telling people over on TikTok is this. Trump is a narcissist, which means you cannot rely on him from one day to the next, mood-wise, whatsoever. Sometimes a narcissist will surprise you and do something that almost makes you say, wait, that's something that a normal, nice person would do. And we'll get to something that he did today that falls into that category. And you'll feel confused. And this is why people end up going in these loops with narcissists when they're in romantic relationships with them, because it's very confusing. Sometimes they'll be sweet to you or kind, kind is taking it too far, but you know what I'm saying. They can be very charming. They can give you lots of attention if they're trying to hook you back in or if they want something. But if they're in a bad mood or they're sick of you or you piss them off, it goes away. And 2 seconds later, it doesn't matter what they promised you. It doesn't matter what they told you. None of that matters to him. So he needs something from China right now. He needs China to fix this. And if they make him mad or they won't do it, it's possible he will explode again and this will all erupt again. It's also possible that they will come to some type of deal. That's possible. It probably depends a lot on Xi Jinping and where his head's at. And also, what mood Trump is in the day that they communicate about this. So again, this could go in 700 different directions. Don't get attached to anything. I hope that it works out in our favor. That would be great. I am not going to rely on that. But I will tell you this. We will never have a dull day with this presidency. I have been so drained because this part of this narcissistic cycle is almost worse to me. I almost prefer it when bad things are happening. It feels very chaotic to not be able to predict at all what someone's going to do. Regardless. No predictability here. And also now we have no predictability from these other countries. But okay, let's talk about that. So things have really deteriorated between the United States and Israel. Trump and Netanyahu are calling it on the outs. Netanyahu literally threatened the United States today, threatened Trump. They're saying Netanyahu is saying crazy things like, we own your government. Literally. He was like, you guys can't get a deal done, a nuclear deal with Iran and Saudi Arabia. We bankroll half of your Congress. And he's telling the truth. AIPAC literally pays all those people money. He's like, we pay Congress, the House, the Senate. Good luck getting those people to agree to what you're asking them to do. Which is a wild thing to say out loud. But that's how far down we've gone with Israel in the last 48 hours. Okay, some things to consider. And this is where the story gets even crazier. Trump negotiated directly with Hamas and brought back an American hostage. Again, so there's some positive side effects here. He's in discussions about a Palestinian state. Talk about a mind-blowing turn of events. sudden turn of events. And this is all to hurt and piss off Netanyahu. I mean, it's getting something done that a lot of people really want to see done. And it's, again, it'll just leave your head spinning. And if people are trying to assign like a normal mental process to this, they're going to fail. You cannot try to see a narcissist's mind through the lens of a normal human mind. It's not going to work. Anyways, that's not all. He's been negotiating directly with Saudi Arabia, directly with the Houthis, came to some truce with the Houthis, and basically said, we're staying out of this. Like, just leave our ships alone. We're not going to attack you anymore. You guys can do whatever you want to Israel. I mean, this shit is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then Qatar gifted him was it $400,000? Or sorry, $400 million? $500 million? A plane, okay? An Air Force One level personal jet for his personal use when he's in or out of office. Everyone's losing their fucking mind about that, understandably, because it's super illegal. And he also committed to building, I think the golf course is supposed to be in Qatar. And it's over $1 billion. So there's so much corruption happening right now. Again, could it work out in the world's favor in some ways? Yeah, maybe. Because Israel's having to come out and say, fine, like, we'll finish this war completely by ourselves. Because obviously, like, the UK, all these other places are already like, you guys need to stop this. Like, this war is unjust. You can't starve the citizens of a country to meet your own military ends. Like, we're sorry, you can't do that. So Trump dumping them on their ass puts them in a situation where it's literally Israel against the world. Now, here's another potential downside. What is it called? The Samson something? It's not good. There is like Israel is rumored to have nuclear weapons. And is it the Samson Doctrine? There's something, they have some sort of thing in place that, like, if they're ever attacked or singled out again, that they would potentially use nuclear weapons on the rest of the world. Even if it's like I don't know if I can say that word here. Even if it means to their own demise as well. Very scary thought. I don't think that they would do that. But I don't know, we don't know what Netanyahu's boundaries or limits, and he is under a lot of legal scrutiny, and he's going to go to jail if this war stops. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's, again, we have no way to predict what's coming next. It's extremely chaotic. A million different things could happen. There's so many, like, high, crazy points of tension on this planet right now. Anything could happen. Anything could erupt at any time. That is not the greatest feeling for someone who has PTSD, but I'm hanging in there. I'm just a lot more tired than I usually am. So that is the update on those two things. I'm sure there's going to be more where that came from. Things are rapidly developing with all these situations. Okay, so Trump really did it. He brought 59 South African white Afrikaans, is that what it's called? Refugees, to these states and gave them refugee status here because of racism against white people in Africa. Whatever, dude. It's only 59 people. I don't even care. It's stupid. It's the Episcopal Church. Shit, I didn't write this down. One of the churches publicly cut ties with Trump because of this, because they said he is literally deporting other refugees and bringing in white refugees, and they were like, nah, dog, we're out. We're done. Like, don't give us anything. We're good. Stay away from us. We want nothing to do with this administration. I think it's the Episcopal Church, but it's a church that starts with an E, and I don't know if there's another one that starts with an E, but anyways. It's for optics in some ways. It's optics for his racist base, and the racism in this country right now is absolutely outrageous, and every day it just escalates. We'll have a story about that in a moment, but anyways, here is the thing that I was saying that he did that is good, and just take it. Doesn't matter if something good happens. Just shut up, be gracious. That's what I'm gonna do anyways. He has ordered price cuts on medications, on all drugs. He's ordered all of Big Pharma to cut drug prices to align with other countries. I heard him on NPR telling this story. It was like a clip of him talking about this, telling a story about he called him, it's his friend, but he's talking about how fat his friend is, and how he's making jokes about how even though his friend is taking GLP-1s, they're not working, and his friend is still fat. I mean, it's crazy. Literally, he sounds like a cast member from The Real Housewives, but that's besides the point. I guess his very, very rich friend, and he kept over and over again talking about how rich this guy is, that is upset. He calls him upset. Then he goes off on a tangent about how his friend calls him president, even though they've been friends for a long time. Now he only calls him president. And Trump is saying how nice that is to be called that. And then Trump says that his friend called him and said he could get this drug for $88 in the UK. And it's I can't remember the name of even, obviously it's not called Botox. Whatever this stuff is that everyone's taking that is making people lose weight really rapidly. And it's also a diabetes drug. GLP-1s, but there's several different names for it. Anyways, he said that when he's here in the States, he pays like $1,600 or $1,700 for this drug. And so Trump is like, all right, that's it. And then makes this executive order that all the drug companies have to drop their prices to match the prices of other countries. Well, here in the United States, the price gouging is outrageous, especially in healthcare and drugs. So I guess like that tanked the stock market. Obviously, when it comes to Big Pharma today, not surprised. Really curious to see what happens here. Wonder if some of these companies are going to try to sue this administration. I mean, he is making enemies and friends as fast as he can. And now the people who hate him are confused, and the people who thought he was their friend hate him. Like, it's it's whatever, dude. Just roll with it. You don't have a choice. But anyways, I hope that really turns, I hope this pans out, and it could help a lot of people. So I really don't care. I will take anything good that could possibly come out of this. Speaking of confusing people that we thought we liked or thought we hated, Gavin Newsom has been doing a lot of very Republican things lately, and he's trying to pressure the cities in California to ban homeless encampments. I don't have to tell you why this is problematic. I mean, it would be wonderful to build tiny home villages or something to house people. There's probably almost no affordable housing in that entire state, honestly. But you can't just wipe out a homeless encampment with no plan to rehome them or program or anything. Like, you can't do that. Anyways, I don't know if they're just going to do it anyways. I don't know what the plan is, but that's what he's doing. I don't love that. There's things I like about him, but he's been real Republican-y since the Trump administration came into office. And I don't love that. I really don't like fake. I'll just say it. I don't like fake bitches. I don't like that. I don't like people that fake stuff. It's not cool. Okay, so the Republicans are still infighting over the Medicaid issue, with some Republicans saying that if they slash Medicaid, it's going to create an unprecedented disaster. Yes, that's true. It's going to tank the optics for this administration, which is already hanging on by a thread, and polls keep coming out. I think the last poll, he was down to like a 36% support rate or something. I don't even care. I'm not really paying attention. Honestly, it doesn't matter unless he's out of office. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But, I mean, it could make them get their act together to some degree, which is, I think, the only reason why Republicans are fighting over this. If things were going well right now, I don't think they'd care. I think they would just do it. But because this administration is already hanging on by a thread, they're fighting about it. And they just released the bill to the House, and I think it's an 80-hour per month work requirement, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're truly disabled, like, that could be literally impossible, and people could die. It has, like, stricter eligibility requirements, citizenship verification, and then there's going to be limits put on the funding from Medicaid that goes to each state. And I don't know, like, what the upper maximum is. I don't know if it's, like, a state-by-state thing. I don't know. Anyways, they're going to figure it out in one way or another. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I think that a lot of these requirements will probably go into place, but, like, they're still trying to cut something like $778 billion from the budget or something. I don't know. I don't know where else they can get it from. So I would brace yourself in general. Unfortunately, a judge has refused to block the IRS from releasing tax information to be used for deportation purposes. So they're going to be going through people's taxes to figure out who is here illegally. Illegal immigrants pay billions of dollars in taxes every year, and a lot of Republicans didn't know that. I'm talking about, like, people that vote. But you're going to notice when we don't have any money for anything, and they're taking it from you instead. Anyways, they're going to start using that information to deport people. In general, they are just getting started when it comes to ICE raids, when it comes to deportation, when it comes to detaining people. We are just scratching the surface. They have plans or something written into the plan for 2026 about this. They're going to ramp it up. In fact, Florida made an official statement saying, like, these ICE raids are your new normal, so just buckle up, get used to it. Their plan, again, I think they're trying to turn this into a white country. I think that they want not just like a slight majority white. I think they want to make it uncomfortable for people who aren't white to be here at all. And I believe that that is their plan that they are rapidly working towards. Hassan Piker is a very well-known Gen Z podcaster. I think he's a Twitch streamer, but his content is all over TikTok all the time. He's all over YouTube. He's pretty famous. He was detained and questioned at the airport. He was coming back from France. I can't remember where he was. Florida? I don't know. Anyways, when he came in, they started asking him a bunch of questions. What does he do for a living? How does he feel about Donald Trump? He chose to tell them the truth that he does not like Donald Trump, and they were asking him, like, do you ever, when you're streaming, because he told them the truth that he's a Twitch streamer, he said he thought about lying and saying he only streams video games, but he just was like, you know what, I'm just going to tell them that I do news content and political content, and he told them that he doesn't like Donald Trump, and they let him go. But I can guarantee you he's on a list. I mean, he's been on a list. That's probably why he was detained in the first place. I'm guessing they already knew a lot of the stuff. It's pretty scary, and it's going to get scarier for all of us. Yeah. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with this tonight. Actually, sorry, one more story, and then we'll save the lighter story for the last story. This is a dark headline, but, you know, this is not the 1930s, 40s, 50s. There were men in KKK outfits, and they were shot and killed. I don't even remember what city this happened in, and for whatever reason, I didn't write it down. I've seen a lot of content about it, and I don't think they caught the people that did it. I mean, let me say this. When you put yourself out there as a part of a hateful extremist organization, you are putting yourself in a very dangerous situation. And again, people are not as scared as they used to be. And tensions are very high. And people are heavily armed. And things have really changed. This is 2025. This isn't the 1950s. We haven't been living in a segregated society. And the cat's not going back into the bag. Whether we're talking about, again, re-enslaving people that have brown skin or forcing women out of the workforce and back into homes with abusive men, it's not happening. It's never going to happen. But good luck. People will fight back, including women. Women will fight back physically. So it'll be an interesting... Again, people should be scared. People should be scared to go out in public and do stuff like that. And I'm talking about putting on KKK outfits and walking out their door. You're not safe. And that's not a threat. I'm just saying, you're not safe. Honestly, none of us are safe right now because of this rhetoric that has been allowed to rear its ugly head again. It has taken the safety away from everyone here, including the people who are spewing it out of their mouths. So, good luck. Okay, this is the last story. And this is very interesting. There's a pretty big rift happening in the Republican Party right now. Because there's a lot of pretty popular podcasters that are coming out against the Trump administration. Ben Shapiro went on a big rant about how skeezy Trump is acting. And this is specifically in regards to taking the plane from Qatar and things like that. He also talked about their crypto scheme and how only people that are like have close ties to the administration have made money from this scam. It's literally like an MLM crypto company. And how everyone else has lost money, but those people have made, I think it's 350 million or something, which actually to them, I don't know if that's even that much, but not good. And he also talked about how Trump always promised to drain the swamp and that the things he's doing are the opposite of draining the swamp and that they will absolutely lose the midterms and that people will be impeached if he keeps acting like this. And then, you know, obviously Shapiro is very on board with supremacy and all kinds of other, you know, horrible things. So he said that, you know, the mission that Trump is supposed to be on is too important for these kinds of skeezy behaviors and he needs to stop so that he can stay focused on the original mission. I think people are waking up to the fact that he will screw you over just as fast as he will screw over the people that he originally claimed were his enemies. It doesn't matter if you're literally his kid. Doesn't matter if you are married to him. He doesn't care. I don't care what he promised you. He probably doesn't even remember he said that. So good luck to Project 2025. Good luck to the Heritage Foundation. Good luck to Israel. Good luck to Russia. He will double cross every single one of you before he dies. Mark my words. I think I'm going to end with that tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow.